For the latest Alien and Predator news updates, visit hybridnetworkyt.com. Hey, what's going on guys? Nick here with another Alien Covenant deleted scene video. Now this one is going to be something very interesting because this is again another sequence from the novelization that has stuff that was added to it, but also stuff that was kind of padded on to stuff that we got in the actual film. So this sequence actually begins right after the wheat field attack when David saves the group of survivors, including Daniels, Lope, Rosenthal, and Oram. Now basically what happens is David tells them they'll be back, you should come with me now, referring to the Neomorphs, as they ran off in the darkness when the group shot them and then the flare went up into the sky. So as the group is actually following David, it's extended where we can actually see them going through more of the forest before they actually reach the gateway to the Engineers Coliseum or Citadel, whatever you want to call it. And it's interesting because the entire way that they're running to the Engineers Citadel, through this forest, through all this dark bush and everything, the elder Neomorph, because there was two Neomorphs, both of them escaped actually after the Wheatfield attack, neither of them were killed in the novel, and it's not made clear in the film. A lot of people said that one was killed in the Wheatfield, but it was actually supposed to show up later on in the film, but like, they just cut the scene out. So in the film, both of them were to have survived as well, but you only see one of them show up later on. So basically in the novelization, the Neomorph that is older is actually trailing them the entire time, following David and the group of survivors all the way up into the Engineers Citadel. It's basically just kind of shadowing them, watching their movements, testing them, as Daniel says it, to see their reaction times, what they are able to sense and get their better surroundings around them, and actually track if the creature is there or not. And I thought it was a really suspenseful sequence because it really added a layer to the Neomorphs. Like, they're actually not just these dumb creatures that just sort of charge at things and attack everything in sight. They do have a little bit of extrasensory stuff going on about them, that they can actually track their prey and everything like that. And I thought it actually would have made sense for the film to include it because it was a little weird how the second one just sort of shows up later on in the movie. You know, it's definitely sniffing and like kind of, you know, it's tracking something. And I always inferred that the other Neomorph shows up at the Citadel because it could kind of smell the blood that it inflicted on Rosenthal, because you know that she has that arm wound because it didn't attack her in the wheat field. So I always thought that it was kind of like a shark, you know, it was sensing its prey and it could still smell her blood from, you know, miles away or whatever, or however far away it was. I guess it was supposed to be fairly close if you going off the events of the book here. So anyways, once they actually reach the Engineer Citadel, David opens up that weird circular doorway and the Neomorph is actually supposed to charge up the staircase at them as they're all sort of running in. They're going to shoot at it while they're running into the building, and I just personally would have made for a much more suspenseful sequence as they're kind of like in shock right after this attack and they're sort of running through this valley of the dead, and then you still have the whole threat of the Neomorph lingering, like it's still following them, tracking their movements, and that's why it shows up later on. It just gives a better explanation as to why it comes back later on. And also, I think in a couple of the shots in the movie, you can see Lope and Rosenthal and the rest of the security team raising their rifles in different directions and looking around while they're walking through the engineer corpses. So maybe they actually did do something like this, but that was also on the cutting room floor. Who knows? But leave your own thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you guys think that this would have added another layer to that scene of them running back to the Citadel? Or do you think it was an unnecessary suspense sequence? As always, thanks for watching. My name is Nick, and for more on the Alien and Predator universe, subscribe to the Hybrid Network.